I just discovered an interesting paradox. I'm going to use two euphemisms to describe this. And this is really mainly for women. It's Kim Kaisa here. I help business owners grow their business rapidly. And today I'm going a bit off topic, but not really off topic, but these two euphemisms, and you're going to have to pardon my language. And I'm going to call this one ball busting versus pussyfooting. Okay? So I'm going to set the table for you. Women get taught a couple of different things in life that are actually the opposite of what we really want and need to learn. And one, ball busting, is what it sounds like. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. It's where we treat men like, and I'm talking about the men we're in romantic relationships with mainly here. We treat men like we know best, like we want to lead the relationship, like we're much better attuned to love and romance than they are, and that we want to lead. And so we ball bust. And by that I mean, and pardon that no, don't pardon it, actually. It's appropriate. So ball busting, what I mean by that is always wanting to control where the relationship goes, always wanting to constantly tell our feelings and how we feel about things, and telling them what needs to change and what they need to do to be more enlightened and more whatever, romantic and a better partner and all that, and blah, 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 blah. That's what it sounds like to them, right? We just basically tell them how bad a job that they're doing. And if you want to have a happy relationship with a man, that's how not to do it. We have been taught to do the opposite. Stand in our truth in the relationship. Stand up for what we need and want. Terrible idea. Okay? I don't know a single woman who is that vocal in her relationships and has a happy relationship with her man. Okay? I know some that are tolerant. They kind of get 50-50s, not really polarized or sexy or anything like that. But men don't need to be told by us what to do. Like, we have to really learn to trust them. So in romantic relationships with men and our primary partnerships, not saying anything does wonders. Like, there's magic, because men really kind of, they're genius at knowing where to take relationships if we let them lead. Okay. Go to business. Okay. Now, a lot of us have been big doers and achievers in business. So I'm not specifically talking about what your success level, either in your business or in your career here, but most of the time there's some extent to which we have learned to pussyfoot around in business. And what I mean by that is to be softer than we need to be, than we want to be liked, to get ahead, to soften our point of view, to not really stand for what we know to be true, to pretend to be behind the eight ball, you know. And again, we're conditioned for this. You know, I don't know exactly why, to be honest. I was going to try to say why, but I don't exactly know why. I don't think it really matters, but I know for me in my own business, like this has been such a theme, like, and I happen to see just clearly where these two things, the ball busting and the pussyfooting, kind of go together. Like, a lot of times, like, not every woman, but many women have both of these things, and it's kind of like we have it flipped. So the thing is, in our businesses and in our careers, this is where we do need to stand in our truth. We need to stand in what we know. We need to stand in our value. I'm currently hosting a Facebook group right now, and I'm just noticing that so many of the women have this flipped. Like, they don't want to really, you know, charge the value they're bringing to their clients. They don't want to say, like, yes, I can do this. Like, for years, I really stood back from saying, yeah, I can I can help you 2x or 3x your revenue. And that was what I was doing. But I did not want to say that, right? I had a coach recently who really got on me about that, and now I say it. But I didn't want to step fully into that. I used to sit in meetings as the VP of sales for my company and stay quiet, wouldn't tell my opinion until everybody else had gone, would fully well know the direction of a conversation was not the right direction, but wouldn't say anything. Later, I'd say, told you so, right? We're really taught to curb ourselves in this area. So we're taught in love to like point out every little thing, which ruins our relationships with men, really ruins them. And then in business, we're taught, like, even if we're achievers, doers, accomplishers, even if we're, promoted, all that, we're still taught to like soften ourselves and not stand in our truth and value. And so it's this paradox. We're doing the opposite of what we need to do. Now, here's the thing. I did this in romantic relationships, the ball busting, for many years. I'm just going to be really honest about it. I got divorced twice. I got into a relationship after I got divorced the last time in 2017. Got into another relationship, and again, thought I knew best where the relationship was going, was constantly telling the guy how things could be better, and like it was just a disaster. Right? And I knew when I broke up with him, like I knew I either had to stay out of relationships, romantic relationships with men, or I had to learn, like, what am I doing? Like, how am I bringing out the worst in men? Okay, and that's when I really explored this topic that I'm now sharing with you. But what I hadn't seen, and I transformed that. My story is, I'd broken up with that guy, kind of waited 6 months, got involved with someone else. Reluctantly, I kind of was like, I'm not going to do this. Really fell in love with the man who's now my fiance, but I gave up all trying to control the direction, trying to say that I knew best, and just decided I'm going to let him lead. I'm going to let him lead. I'm going to let him figure things out. Pardon me. When something would happen in the relationship and I think, I need to bring that up, I decided I'm not going to bring it up. And you guys, miracles kept happening. Pardon me, miracles kept happening, because when I would let things go, which we're taught not to do, when I would sit in the tension that I didn't want to hold on to, but I would just sit in the tension, like something miraculous would happen, and there would be an outcome that he led that would push the relationship far beyond where it would have gone if I had brought up my concerns or whatever. And this has happened so many times, over and over. I could give you multiple examples of that happening in the relationship. So I had really honed in on that. I've kind of had that mastered for about a year, not that long. I thought I was getting better with business, but I just found myself, again, just really recently, filtering, not bringing my full self to my business. Because again, I kind of had filtered in a way with my relationship, and it's really thrived, and I'm happier than I've ever been. But I kind of let that bleed over more into my business. So I just am here to say today, if you're ball busting and pussyfooting, like I see the relationship of those are pretty tight, there are better ways. There are ways that you can have your business thrive by you being absolutely you. And that's actually for men and for women. If you're, like, men have kind of been castrated in this society, so they may not be bringing their full selves to their business either. So that's for you too, guys. But like for women especially, like we can bring our full selves, we can express that piece of us in business, and we can give our guys a break. And I will tell you that if you're in a romantic relationship, if you're in a marriage if you're in a relationship that's a really good relationship, but like, you're on thin ice with kind of always voicing your concerns and you're both feeling worn out, try this thing that I'm talking about. Don't voice your concerns, like really let him lead, let him do it. And if you're looking to get into a relationship, like that's my advice. Now, you know, somebody's going to say, well, why would I let some narcissist lead or whatever? Well, don't get involved with the narcissist if you really think the person's a narcissist. Like, don't, you know, or if you get a year in and then they start to become somebody evil, get out. Like, don't stay with that, obviously. But most of what we complain about as women in relationships is avoidable. It's really avoidable. Men are so simple. They just want us to be happy. That's it. So when we voice all these concerns and all that, they just feel like failures. They go into fight, flight. They shut down, that sort of thing. Like, so we like stop doing that, and let's take all that energy we have and put it towards putting ourselves behind our career, our business, right? Promoting ourselves, getting the raise that we deserve, you know, talking about our accomplishments, that sort of thing. We got it opposite, ladies. Let's flip it. Thanks for joining me.